This is Valley News Live at 5.
Hello again, everyone. It's been a foggy day. In fact, it might have been a factor in a few crashes throughout the Red River Valley today. A dense fog advisory was issued earlier. It's been extended a few times. The National Weather Service says that advisory continues until 6 o'clock. But that's just the least of our problems. I can't remember the last time I heard our meteorologists talking about the chance of 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but they are now. Right now, we're a far cry from that, but let's go to Hutch right away to find out what's to come, when, and where. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. We do have a lot to talk about, and good evening, everyone. First and foremost, we're going to get to the snow potential with this system. We gave you a first alert to this system a week ago. Last Wednesday, as we issued a first alert weather day, and indeed we're going to see that risk for heavy snow in our area. Let's get right to it. First and foremost, there will be areas with light snow, and it looks like the best chance of that in Grand Forks, in the area with light blue. But where you see the darker blue shades here, there is going to be an enhanced band of heavier snow that sets up. Why? Well, this system is very dynamic. It comes with some warm air. There is a lot of moisture in this system, a lot, and it's going to be cold enough for snowflakes in our eastern counties, from the Southern Valley through places like Pelican Rapids, maybe even Detroit Lakes, Fergus Falls, all the way up through Bagley, Bemidji, and on into southern parts of Lake of the Woods County. A large swath of 4 to 8+ inches. But I do believe we'll have the potential for a foot or more of snow in isolated pockets. Why? Because we could have something called thunder snow. Thunder snow is very heavy bands of snow, and it's setting up out here in parts of Nebraska and on the border with South Dakota right now. And that happens when we get a little extra lift in the atmosphere. This storm system right here making its way towards us has already confirmed tornadoes that have been on the ground. Damage reported right in Omaha with exploded buildings, and a tornado warning with a tornado moving at 100 miles per hour. And the gusts tonight could get strong for us. Here's thunder and lightning in the ETA. Estimated time of arrival for our southern viewing area, 1.5 hours. In the 6 o'clock hour, these are moving at 80 to 90 miles per hour, racing our way. November 16th, 1931. That's the latest season tornado in the state of Minnesota. This storm could be historic because we could have tornadoes tonight. In fact, it seems likely that we could have a strong tornado in southern Minnesota. Deteriorating road conditions, snow, wind, blizzard conditions, gusts to 50 could cause power outages. Be prepared for that potential. Take care of your furry friends out there. And again, that heavy snow band is one of our concerns. Coming up here in a bit, we'll have hour-by-hour details, Mike, on your first alert weather day for tonight and early tomorrow. There'll be impacts to cancellations and closures, and you can get all of that right here or on valleynewslive.com.
And once again, download that VNL weather app. You're going to get the video updates, access to the radar, along with hour-by-hour forecast. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store. It's free to download. Customers of Glossar Images are starting to receive their pictures. However, we're learning today that some pictures are going out to the wrong customers, and even to people who were never customers with the photography company at all. One woman tells us she's concerned that her baby pictures have been sent to the wrong email address. Another took to social media, asking if anyone knows the people in the pictures that were sent to her today. Hundreds of people were impacted by the sudden October closing of the photography business. Many couples were left with questions as to what to do next. We have reached out to the attorney for Glossar Images today. He hasn't responded. Fargo Police and Davies High School officials have investigated concerning images and information circulating on social media, and they say it relates to an incident on Monday. The principal said that a student made a threatening comment while riding the school bus home. The threat was deemed to be not credible. The principal also says that the student involved in this incident is not in school. We're now learning about a UND aircraft that made an emergency landing on a county road Saturday afternoon. UND officials say 2 members of the student flying team were on that plane when it started shaking and partially losing power. The team was flying close enough to the Northwood, North Dakota airport to make a proper landing. No one was injured. No further damage was done to the aircraft. Preliminary results indicate there was an issue with the plane's cylinders. New at 5, a Dilworth, Minnesota man has been sentenced to more than 8 years in federal prison for a string of violent gang robberies. Thomas Aguilar was accused of committing these crimes with Slither gang members from January through May of 2019. Authorities say they robbed people who were alleged drug traffickers and sold the drugs that they stole. A use of force expert today testified that former Minnesota police officer Kim Potter was not justified in using deadly force when she fatally shot Dante Wright. His testimony undercut a defense claim that Potter would have been justified in shooting Wright even if she had intended to, though she has said she meant to pull her taser. Potter is charged with manslaughter in Wright's death. Prosecutors say even an intended use of a taser on Wright would have violated her suburban Minneapolis Police Department's policy. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has pleaded guilty to a federal charge of violating George Floyd's civil rights. Chauvin's plea means he will not face a federal trial in January, though he could end up spending more time behind bars. Floyd's brother spoke after Chauvin's hearing today.
But honestly, hearing what Derek Chauvin said in the courtroom, it's not what exactly we wanted. We wanted this in the beginning of the trial, the state trial, but he's pleading guilty. But again, it's not because he wants to; it's because this is what it is.
Derek Chauvin was convicted this spring of state murder and manslaughter charges for pinning his knee against Floyd's neck as the black man said he couldn't breathe during a May 25, 2020 arrest. Chauvin was sentenced to 22.5 years in that case. 3 other former officers are still on course for trial early next year on the same charges. President Joe Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for healthcare workers is set to be reinstated. A federal appeals court ruled the policy can be enforced in about half of the states in the country. The mandate was frozen nationwide last month by a federal judge in Louisiana. The policy requires healthcare workers who participate in Medicare and Medicaid to be vaccinated. The issue will likely be taken up by the Supreme Court. With the holiday season underway, supply chain issues continue to affect just about everyone who is buying or selling goods. And with the reopening of the Canadian border, North Dakota is once again a port of entry for our neighbors to the north. However, new policies implemented by the Canadian government will require truck drivers to be vaccinated if they plan to pass from America to Canada. Business owners from North Dakota foresee this making existing supply chain issues worse.
In this country, we're used to getting everything we want. You get whatever size, what color, what flavor. You have your choice of shopping around and finding the best price. We don't have that anymore. We're going to accept what's on the shelf.
More than 2/3 of goods traded between the United States and Canada are transported on roads and highways. The Canadian Trucking Alliance estimates that as many as 40% of American truck drivers traveling to and from Canada would be sidelined by the vaccination requirement. The deadline for truckers to get the vaccine is January 15th. One of the nation's top COVID advisors says it appears drug makers will not need to make a new vaccine for the Omicron variant. Instead, he's urging people to get vaccinated and get booster shots. Chris Pallone reports from Washington, D.C.
Across the country, more evidence of a new COVID surge. Hospital admissions are up nearly 8%, deaths up 5% over the past week. The Delta variant is still doing the most damage, but the Omicron variant has been detected in at least 36 states, and cases of it appear to double every 2 days.
I am very concerned that healthcare systems are going to be facing a pretty tough situation in the coming weeks.
Tuesday, the nation's lawmakers paused for a moment of silence on the Capitol steps to remember the 800,000 Americans who have died from COVID so far. But one of the president's top health advisors says there is some good news.
Our booster vaccine regimens work against Omicron. At this point, there is no need for a variant-specific booster.
The existing vaccines appear to work well against Omicron when a person is fully vaccinated and boosted. And even some vaccine protection does a good job at keeping people out of the hospital or dying from COVID.
It means that it is vital for everyone to get vaccinated and boosted if they are eligible.
As cases tick up, pro sports are feeling the effects, with more than 100 NBA, NFL, and NHL players and coaches all testing positive in recent days. The rising cases also forcing Northeast universities like Princeton, Cornell, and NYU to abruptly cancel in-person gatherings and make final exams virtual. After doing contact tracing of cases from Thanksgiving, Philadelphia's health commissioner issued this warning.
Please do not get together with other households for Christmas. Or if you do, keep those gatherings small. It's just too dangerous.
Despite the rise in cases, the White House says the nation's schools and businesses will remain open.
And this time of year, the White House would normally be hosting many holiday receptions, but this year, they're scaling back because of the rise in COVID cases. Later on Valley News Live at 5, President Biden delivers a message as he pays a visit to some of the hardest hit areas in and around Kentucky.
We have tornado watches in southern Minnesota, a new one likely to come out for areas near Rochester. Snow is heading our way. Here's the area where the best chance of seeing some of those tornadoes will be. And for us, winter storm warnings, lofty snowfall totals in your forecast. Hour by hour details are straight ahead. Join me. Weather next.